Hello, beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Today, the guys want me to talk to you more about illness and how we lower our frequency and our vibrations in our bodies in order to match the vibration of the illness, and that's how we get sick. So I got sick this past week. It was actually Super Bowl Sunday, I believe, the first day that I was feeling off. And just to give you some background here, I have not been sick since 2020. So it's been a really long time. And actually, I don't remember when I was sick before that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is how it happened, and I'm going to explain my experience and how I moved through it, okay? So, all illnesses stem from some type of discord that happens within you, your body, and your soul, what you believe. So, as you are living a human experience in a human body, and we are all energy, and our energy is arranged in a certain way so that you may look like you do in a solid human body. When something happens that hurts your feelings, that's the soul part, right? The inner child, the inner you. Something happens. Somebody says, "You're ugly. I don't like you anymore. I'm not going to be your friend anymore." I'm using all very childish things that kids say to each other that create wounds in childhood. There's a reason for this. As an adult, it might be something like, you've been ghosted, or somebody just stopped talking to you, or somebody that was in your circle of friends stopped talking with you, or blocked you, or unfollowed you, or any of that stuff, and you have no idea why. It could be somebody who used to be a really good friend of yours and then left, never calls you anymore, doesn't answer your phone calls, your texts, your messages, doesn't make any inklings to be in your life anymore, and you don't know why. These are things that hurt our feelings. On a more subtle level, it could be acquaintances, people at work, people at school, people that you kind of know but are not really your good friends. And something happens, such as they walk by in a public place and bump into you and they don't say sorry. Or it might be something like, let's say your parents or an old friend says something to you as a joke, but it hits a chord within you that is not funny for you. Okay, any of these things, and of course there's thousands more examples that I could give you, are things that make us shrink our energy. You might be feeling great, fantastic, awesome. One of these things happen, it bothers you. You feel like let's take the stranger that bumps into you in the mall and doesn't say I'm sorry. And you feel like, what? They're not even saying I'm sorry, they're not apologizing. Like, what's up with that? Like, am I not seen? Am I not worth it? Like, what? Am I like just something that's in the way? These are all negative thoughts that the ego feeds us, right? We're not thinking of, oh, maybe that person has had a really bad day and is running late to see somebody, and it has nothing to do with me. No, we always make it personal. But the reason we make it personal is because it instills or awakens an old memory that we probably experienced during childhood, which is why I started the examples with childhood things that might have happened. So somebody bumps into you at the mall and doesn't say I'm sorry and just keeps going like, you didn't exist. And that might have triggered a similar situation that happened when you were a child at school and somebody did that and you felt unseen, unloved, or stepped over. Or maybe you told a teacher or an adult and they didn't do enough for you to feel rectified or seen. You felt like, oh, they just talked to them, but like, I didn't get an apology. I still didn't get an explanation. And you still feel this void of, wow, maybe there's actually something wrong with me, which, by the way, it's never true. There's never anything wrong with us. You are divine beings of light. There could never be anything wrong with you. Not even a hair on your head could be in a misplaced place. You're amazing. But the ego will have us think something differently. And so when something happens that makes us feel less than, we shrink, our energy shrinks. Imagine yourself as a ball of light. So imagine your body being this beautiful ball of light that is emitting light 12 feet all around you, like a big ball. And when you're happy, this ball of light expands even further and brighter. And you are matching up with other balls of lights, other beings who are vibrating high, and you're having fun. And then somebody comes by and says something or does something to you, or for you, I should say, that makes you not feel so good. And in that moment, your energy shrinks. And you can see this. You can see the energy shrink back. This big ball of light that you are, you might be sending it out 12 feet all around you. It might go down to just like 1 foot around you. And if it's like a really deep thing, you might start dimming your light and bringing that light within your body, inside of you. And if you really have a deep, deep wound about it, you might even almost extinguish this light within you. That's called depression. And so when something happens that makes you shrink your light, what does that mean? Another way of saying this or seeing this is lowering your vibration. We're talking about vibration and frequencies all the time. You want to elevate your frequency and the vibration of your body to the highest that you can, because when you are vibrating at a high frequency, you are in the flow. Things that you like happen for you. More and more things that you really enjoy come into your awareness and your space. And so these are things that happen for you when you are vibrating at a high frequency. And when you are vibrating at a low frequency, you are attracting and matching up with things that make you feel more of these low frequency things. And so when you lower your frequency, when that ball of light shrinks, you are then aligning with other energies that are vibrating at this lower frequency. And all illnesses and diseases vibrate at low frequencies. So when you are always on a high vibe, always living the life, always raising your frequency and looking at the good, positive things, you usually don't get sick because you're not matching the vibration of the disease. So something happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I put a lot of work into something that I created, and everybody was having fun and enjoying it. And then I saw some children, destroying some of the props, some of the decorations, and that hurt me. And it hurt me in a way that I didn't know it was coming. It just came out of nowhere. Like, why would I be so upset about this? And the reason I was so upset about it is because it awoken a deep wound that I had been carrying within me. So it's not so much what's happening in the moment, like, some kids destroying some decorations and having fun with it, being kids. It's what low vibration memory it awoke in me. And that's what triggered me. And that's what made me feel bad. And then I went on to give this energy more energy and to talk about it and to say things about it and to align with it. And 2 days later, I was sick. Most of the time, when somebody comes to me and they say, oh, I don't feel good, or this happened, or I have a headache, or I'm getting a cold, or whatever, I always ask, what happened in the last 2 to 3 days? Because it takes your body about 2 to 3 days to actually manifest the frequency that you are aligning with. If I had moved through that feeling that night, I wouldn't have gotten sick, because I wouldn't have remained long enough in that low frequency energy, enough for me to match up to the frequency of this illness that I matched up with and took upon me. But I did stay there, and I gave it more fuel. I felt bad, and I talked about it, and I was not talking about it in a good way. I was talking about it as like, oh, I can't believe this happened. With anger, with resentment. Also very low frequency energies. And so I always ask, what happened? Did somebody say something to you? And people always remember something that happened. Oh my gosh, I saw my mother. She criticized what I was wearing. There it is, right? The mother criticizing the person on what they were wearing as an adult is not the whole story. The whole story is that triggers a feeling, a belief that was learned and kept during childhood. This is why it's so powerful. Once you're able to identify where it came from, then you can move it out of your body. And so, for me, first of all, I didn't realize I was sick. I just went to bed early, thinking I was tired. And the next day I had a fever of 102, which did not budge for 2 days. And because I was so cold and achy and feverish, I didn't do any work on it. I didn't think about it. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't do anything. So I just remained in pain. And then finally, by the 3rd day, I was like, okay, I need to do the work. Where did this come from? What happened? Why am I sick? And then I put it together that it was this incident that had happened that made me feel less than, stepped over, and underappreciated. And then I kept digging. When did this happen first? When did I feel like this before? And I was brought back to a time when I was around 7 years old. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I did work on that. What kind of work? You put it together, you bring awareness to it, and you're like, that's what it is. Okay, I'm ready to release it, and you release it from your body. It's as simple as that. You can also do breath work on it, but it's as simple as putting it together, becoming aware of it, and putting it together. That's it. And I went to bed. I felt much better the next day. Day after that, I started getting a sinus infection related to the whole thing. I'm like, what's going on? Why is it coming back? Do some more work on it. Then I was shown a scene when I was about 11 years old, which was actually related to the 7-year-old experience. Oh, I have forgotten about this. Okay, this is another part of me related to the same root that I had not cleared. Okay, let's clear that. Finally, I was able to move through it. And then once I did that, once I got all of these things together, I was able to move the energy out of my body. Of course, by now I have been sick for like 5-6 days, and it was much stronger within my body. So you might still hear it in my nose. I'm still a little nasal here with some of this remnants of the energy still hanging out with me. I also worked out a couple of times while I was sick to move the energy. You move the energy by moving your body and releasing stuck energy in the muscles that you're using, and also by sweating, which I did. So you're moving energy physically out of your body through the sweat. I also took baths and showers to cleanse the energy from my body. I also did energy work. So I did a lot of work. I have been doing a lot of work in order to move this. But notice that all of the stuff that I'm talking about hasn't anything to do with taking medicine. I made some ginger tea. So I bought fresh ginger and I boiled it and I had ginger tea. And then I also started taking zinc lozenges supplements. That has been a really great match for me specifically. I'm a Taurus, and usually zinc is one of the go-to supplements that I take whenever I get sick, because it's what my body's asking for. So that's something else I took. And obviously the rest and the time. And this is how I moved through it. It hasn't been horrible or wonderful at the same time. My body wanted to say wonderful. But I've moved through, and I wanted to share my personal story with it, because that's what my guys asked me to do. I was doing automatic writing this morning, and I was asking, what does my audience need to know? What would be in their best interest? And they said, talk about illness. It hasn't been explored enough. Because I almost feel like a broken record. Like, did I speak about this in my podcast? Have I spoken about it in my group? Where have I spoken about it? But they were insistent. So here I am talking about it because it's what they want me to explain. Putting together how we feel inside always translates to how you feel outside. When you lower your frequency, when you allow things to bother you and to make you feel less than, to make you feel even more disconnected from the divine being that you are aligning with low frequencies where illness resides. The more you give into that illness feeling, let's say you get scared, right? We have that big C illness. When people got sick, they were terrified because of what the media was talking about, right? People can die about it. People did die from it. And so when people got the news that they tested positive, a lot of them went into that fear of like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to me? Will I even survive this? Family members will have the same fear about it. And that adds to the fuel of the fear, which is a super low frequency. So it takes longer for the person to move through the illness and to shake it off. Then a lot of people experience mild symptoms. Oh, it was really bad for 1 or 2 days and then I'm fine. Or I survived it. And then the people who actually started experiencing it started to see that it wasn't as bad as the big hype. Obviously, it has been really bad for some people, especially those who have lost their lives or who are still suffering from it. But for a lot more people, it has been more of like a really bad cold. And they have moved through. And then that fear has dissipated, which is good. Because when people now do get ill with it, they are less fearful. And when they're less fearful, they can move through the illness much faster and smoother. When you allow the fear to come into your awareness, you feed that low frequency, that low energy, and therefore that can lead to a longer recovery period or even complications. So bring awareness to how illness enters your body and how to release it, how to figure out what happened, and then changing that belief. For example, the person who runs into you at the mall and knocks you over and doesn't even look back to see if you're okay, and your first belief is like, what? Like, I'm not seen, I'm not worth picking up or asking if I'm okay, all of these things, right, of unworthiness. There must be something wrong with me. Changing that belief to, oh, that person must be really be having a bad day. Or that person probably just got some really bad news and they don't really can see anything or anyone else around them. They can only focus on themselves right now. They're having a really hard time. And sending them love. Do you see how that changes? It changes all the focus to I'm not worthy and this is why this is happening, to, wow, having compassion and empathy for the person who did the offense, trying to put yourself in their shoes and realizing that it's not about you. And that it's definitely not that you're unworthy. And so, with that, letting you go, really hoping and sending you love so that you can use this message and allow it to serve you. Next time you're sick, next time you're moving through things, figure it out. Look back into it. Realize that an illness is just an energy frequency. All you have to do, so to speak, is change the dial to a higher frequency and release the illness and feel joy and light again. Sending you so much love with this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.